The following program contains incessant calls to battle with the unsavory. If you suffer from squeaky clean-handedness, Randall might not be right for you. Check with your local Pharisee.
Proclaiming the truth in the highways and byways of the world. Fighting for justice in the dark alleys of politics. Raising the voice of resistance to a fevered pitch. And he knows where to find the best and worst jail food in America. Randall Terry.
Welcome, friend, to another special edition of Randall Terry, the voice of resistance. We're in Wichita, Kansas, and we are going to play for you a political rally that took place here with lots of people, lots of energy. I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. Today's program brought to you in part by Angry White Men, once again proving through their vote that they can tell the mainstream media to go to the hot place. And by anybody for president, except Obama and Romney. I'll be right back after a quick word from my friend, Sir Reginald Bling. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Newt Gingrich, you know who you have to thank for this great victory? Not me. You have John King to thank from CNN. We congratulate Newt Gingrich, and we're happy that Romney lost. And I just want to say this. John King, that CNN question that he asked Newt Gingrich about his former wife, the man had to be taking stupid pills by the fistful because he doesn't understand the rage that is in the heart of the average American at the media elite. And Newt Gingrich could just have John King, the kingmaker, for his victory. All right, I am going to introduce now, again, congratulations to Newt Gingrich, anybody but Romney, and then anybody but Obama. We're going to play for you the political rally that I was the speaker at. It's going to take us today and tomorrow's program. I hope that you're challenged. I hope that it's food for thought. There'll be excerpts from the whole night, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. You be the judge. Thank you for watching Randall Terry. Again, Newt Gingrich beating Romney by over 10 points, well into double digits. Romney is in a panic right now. Oh, I'm so happy. Can I help panic you more, Mitt? Drop out, please. Bye-bye. Thank you. Yes. I think a Shakespeare line is, and they damned him with faint applause. It's good to be with you tonight. First, I want to thank Pastor Rob and Pastor Mark and Pastor A.D. for your hospitality, for the great singing earlier. Thank you for the kind words of introduction. And I honor my fellow pro-life leaders and activists that are here and all the work that you're doing to strive for the end of legalized child killing. I ask your forgiveness ahead of time that I'm going to have to use these glasses on and off because since I came here 20 years ago, my eyes have deteriorated. I know that this is a shock to people. I've gotten better looking, but I can't see where the darn. Thank you. I do stand before you tonight as a frail creature of dust. All of us have feet of clay. All of us have internal struggles that we work with day in and day out, some days more than others. But there's a passage that comes from a poem from Amy Carmichael that has been of great comfort to me. She was the missionary to India who uncovered child prostitution and was successful in causing the authorities of Great Britain to criminalize those acts. She said, "Dust of the earth, but thy dust, Lord. Blade of grass, in thy hand a sword. Nothing, nothing, except we be purged and quickened, O Lord, by thee." I tell people regularly, and I believe it, that my role in this movement over the last 25 or so years is a sign of God's desperation. I mean, literally, look in the mirror, Don, and say, God, you have to be kidding. You're using me? I really think that there were people that God tapped before he put his hand on me to do the things that I was doing, and that they said no. Because the price is so high to serve God in some levels, and the death to self and the death to reputation, all of these things that we have to go through. So There's a verse in the scriptures that says, God has chosen the foolish things of this world to confound the wise, the weak things of this world to overthrow the mighty, the things that are not, the zeros, to set it naught to the things that are, so that no flesh could boast in his presence and that all glory would go to him. And so I give credit to the Lord for the good things that my life has accomplished, as do you, and I take the rap for the bad. Amen. All right, I'm going to open with a passage from the Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death speech. Now, I'm going to say some things tonight that are fairly encouraging to most people. They'll be a little bit troubling to a handful, and I would venture to guess that most of the people that I'm going to really bother with what I'm about to say are not in the room tonight. And so we've taken the opportunity to reach you by television. I know where you are and I know how to bother you. That's why I'm filming this. National right to life. All right, let me read to you the opening of Patrick Henry's Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death speech. He stood to his feet. He said, Mr. President, no man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism, as well as abilities of the very worthy gentlemen who have just addressed the House. But different men often see the same subject in different lights. And therefore, I hope it will not be thought disrespectful to those gentlemen if, entertaining as I do, opinions of a character very opposite to theirs, I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. This is no time for ceremony. The question before the House is one of awful moment to this country. For my own part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery. And in proportion to the magnitude of the subject, ought to be the freedom of the debate. It is only in this way that we can hope to arrive at truth and fulfill the great responsibility which we hold to God and our country. Should I keep back my opinions at such a time through fear of giving offense, I should consider myself as guilty of treason toward my country and of an act of disloyalty toward the majesty of heaven, which I revere above all earthly kings. Mr. President, it is natural to man to indulge in the illusions of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against a painful truth and listen to the song of that siren till she transforms us into beasts. Is this the part of wise men engaged in a great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we disposed to be of the number of those who, having eyes, see not, and having ears, hear not, the things which so nearly concern their temporal salvation? For my part, whatever anguish of spirit it may cost, I am willing to know the whole truth, to know the worst, and to provide for it. I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. I know of no way of judging the future but by the past. I give you those words of introduction because they were so eloquently spoken, and I'm going to mimic at least the form, if not some of the content.
There's a yard sale in the neighborhood. We need parking. Let's buy the yard.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I've been making superb nutritional supplements for over 15 years, and from day one, I've partnered with Randall Terry, helping to fund his invaluable work in reclaiming our country's biblical and godly roots. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives since its inception.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 essential areas of nutrition your body needs on a daily basis. Each serving of the Total Living Drink provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, enzymes for better digestion and nutrient absorption, protein for building lean muscle mass so you can burn more fat for fuel, probiotics for better intestinal function, herbs for building energy and stamina, antioxidants for maximum immune function and disease prevention, and all the vitamins and minerals you need for slowing down aging and maximum health. You would have to take 30 to 40 capsules each day and spend almost $10 a day to match the over 30,000 milligrams of total nutrition in each scoop of the Total Living Drink. Order right now and get started on the amazing Total Living Drink. They come in 2 delicious flavors, Total Living Drink Greens and Total Living Drink Berry. And every single dollar we receive, we give a generous amount to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Visit us online at the address on your screen and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today, and for the daily price of a latte, you can get back on the road to better health and energy with Kylea's Total Living Drink.
Do you know what Randall Terry and Godzilla have in common? Well, whenever he comes to town, the bad guys run away. Ah!
Welcome back to the program, friend. We're going to give you the next installment of this political rally based upon Judeo-Christian principles. No apologies here. Jesus is Lord. Moses is the great lawgiver. And we will and we must rebuild this republic on Judeo-Christian principles. We give you what I hope is an inspirational, educational, political rally. There were men that had just spoken before Patrick Henry. Thank God this is not being replicated here tonight. But there were men who had just spoken before Patrick Henry who wanted to treat with the King of England again. Send another embassy. Send another olive branch. Let's make peace. And he stood up, and basically historians will concur that this speech is why we have an America. Because Virginia had to arm. And they were on the verge of not arming. And had they not armed, and the British arrived in Boston when they did, then the Americans would not have been ready for the conflict. So this give me liberty or give me death speech is probably one of the most critical speeches, if not the most critical speech ever given concerning the founding of America. Things can literally, all of history can be changed on a dime in one moment. Now, I don't presume that that will happen here tonight, but I do pray to God that the words that I speak, that you hear tonight, will affect you leaders that are here, will affect the leaders that are watching by television, and will affect the course that the pro-life movement takes. Now, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to speak, this annoying little thing in my ear, I'm going to speak to the leaders that are present in the room. If you head up a pro-life ministry or you are a clergyman, please raise your hand. All right, I'm speaking to you tonight. Everyone else gets to listen free of charge until it's time for the offering. I'm going to look at 4 main things. Number 1, what does God want? Number 2, what is at stake? Number 3, why we are losing. And number 4, what must we do? Those 4 things. What does God want? What is at stake? Why are we losing? And what must we do? First, what does God want? God wants total victory. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That means the criminalization of all child killing from conception until birth. That's total victory. Anything short of that is not total victory. It is the will of God that it be a criminal act to kill an unborn human being. That's His will. All right? Now, that must be our goal then. Okay? The goal of the pro-life movement is not to witness. It's not to mend the broken lives of people who have killed their babies. It's not to evangelize. Now, we may do all of those things in our work, and all of them are good, and they may help us toward our goal. But our goal is to make it a criminal act to kill a human being. That's the goal. Anything short of that goal is failure. All right? Now, as I will discuss as we go, I am in complete agreement that it's an ethical option to go at it piecemeal. They didn't take Berlin on day one. They had to get to Normandy Beach, right? And I'll discuss that in a minute. But the goal must be the criminalization of child killing. And if you go to the websites of most pro-life groups in D.C., you go to their websites all over the country, there's not a blessed word in there about ending the killing. They've lost their vision. They've lost their hope. They've lost their focus. They've lost their goal. And many of them have become fundraising machines. There's a lot of money to be made on the blood of the babies by the killers and by those that allegedly defend them. And by the way, thank God that the Personhood Amendment lost in Mississippi for the right reasons. I'm sad that it lost, but it lost for the right reasons. And you people who do this here, if you get defeated and it's for the right reasons, it's okay. Listen closely to me. We serve God. We play to an audience of one first. And it is the will of God that human pesticides be made illegal. Do you understand what I just said? A human pesticide is Plan B, the morning after pill, Depo-Provera, the patch, the pill, an IUD. Anything that kills a human being after that human being is conceived must be made illegal. We have to own it. We have to embrace it. There are people in the pro-life movement who are scared to death of saying that we want to see the pill made illegal because there are members in their congregation that are on the pill. Are you hearing me? Thank you. And they applauded one man. Yes. 2, 3. Okay, so, right. You see the point. You see the problem. Even the fact that people here can't be excited about it. We've been tricked. Okay, barrier methods of birth control are unethical for married people as far as I'm concerned. Okay, probably unethical for single people for that matter. But that's not the discussion, and that's not what we're talking about that must be criminalized. We're talking about criminalizing things that kill innocent human beings. And there are people in the church, evangelical, Catholic worlds, who don't even know that the pill they're taking is killing some of their offspring. This is a medical fact, people, and we have to embrace it and own it publicly without flinching, without equivocation. And we have to turn it back on our enemies and say, what is wrong with you that you want to use a human pesticide to kill innocent human beings? Can I get a witness yet? 6 or 8 people there saying, yeah, well, you're starting to meddle in my life and I don't like it. Our goal is to learn to play to an audience of one, that we fear God more than we fear man. God told Jeremiah, fear me. God said, don't be afraid of them when they attack you, or I'll confound you in their presence. We must fear God and herald his message, his words in the public square without flinching, without apology.
Fail faster, Randall. Here, let me help you out. No!
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kailea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
It is a fine thing to be honest, but it is also very important to be right. Sir Winston Churchill. All right, friend, back with you from Wichita. More of our political rally. All right, number 2, what's at stake? You know, there's so much preaching and prophesying in the Mayan calendar and blah, 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 that we have lost a grip on biblical history and Christian history. Namely, that there is a God in heaven who has given laws and who judges men and nations based on those laws. This is not all that profound. It's certainly not new. And if you look at, for example, Psalm 106, starting with verse 37, speaking of the nation of Israel, God said, yea, they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and daughters unto devils, unto demons. And they shed innocent blood, the blood of their sons and daughters, whom they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan. And the land was polluted with the blood. Thus they were defiled by their works. They went whoring with their own inventions. And therefore the wrath of the Lord was against his people. Did you hear that? So that he hated his own inheritance. The wrath of the Lord was against his people insomuch that he abhorred. He hated his own inheritance. He gave them into the hand of their enemies. Gave them into the hand of the heathen. Them that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies oppressed them. They were brought into subjection under their hand. You can read this in 2 Kings 21 through 24. You can see what happened with the collapse of the temple, the burning of the temple, the Babylonian captivity. The long story short is that we're fighting for the survival of this nation. This is not simply a matter of, oh, these poor babies, and I feel bad, and God said thou shalt not murder. You kill your babies, God says, and I'm taking you out. Now, he's slow to anger. And sometimes it takes a long time for the cup of his wrath to fill. But there does come a time when the cup overflows, and that's it. And then death and destruction and chaos and pain and anguish come to the whole populace. And oh, by the way, not only people who killed their babies went to Babylon, naked, chained, but people who didn't. If God sends a drought, you're going to be thirsty. Okay? So we had better grasp what it is that we are doing. We are fighting for God's will, for God's human beings that he created in his image, and for the survival of this republic. And we're already being judged. I mean, you don't have to be a prophet to figure this out. Do you understand? China now is our largest holder of debt. I mean, you could go down the list. Horrible weather crises that we're having. The most wicked most wicked city in our nation is pummeled by a hurricane. And someone stands up and says, maybe this was the chastening of the Lord. And they're ridiculed. This is like pages right out of the book of Jeremiah. All right. So, number 3, why are we losing? Now, listen to me, my fellow pro-life leaders. We're losing. 40 years we begin tomorrow. We begin our 40th year tomorrow of murdered babies. 52, 53 million babies dead surgically, 250, 300 million dead chemically. The number is, they can only make a conjecture. We're losing. We are losing. I appreciate that. And my point is, by any other standard, if you had a business that failed for 40 years, if you had a war and you were occupied for 40 years, if the Vichy government under the heel of the Nazis was getting their butt whipped for 40 years, you cannot say, we're winning. I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing, friends. I'm going to be right back and give you a word from one of those incendiary founders of this republic. And then on tomorrow's broadcast, we will give you the conclusion of this political rally here from Wichita. I'll be right back. Be not silent, O God of my praise, for wicked and deceitful mouths are opened against me, speaking against me with lying tongues.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kailea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
George Washington said, "It is better to offer no excuse than offer a bad one." Friends, the pro-life movement is in fact losing. And it's time we stop making excuses. And it's time we fight for the babies like their lives really, really meant it. Broadcasting to you from the road, now in Denver. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you tomorrow.